by som rád vyzval prvého speakera dnešného webinára, pána Daniela Ondruša, ktorý je riaditeľom odboru zahraničného obchodu na agentúre SARIO, aby vás privítal.
Ďakujem veľmi pekne, Adam. Vážené dámy, vážení páni, milí účastníci dnešného webinára, dovolte mi, aby som sa ja vám tiež v mene agentúry SARIO prihovoril a privítal vás na dnešnom webinári, ktorý sme venovali možnostiam podnikania v Estónsku. Estónsko je najvyspelejšou ekonomikou v Pobaltí a zároveň patrí medzi globálnych lídrov v digitalizácii verejnej správy. Pardon. Tá kombinácia vysokej úrovne digitalizácie a moderného podnikateľského prostredia, ale zároveň aj silnej orientácie na inovácie vytvára veľmi dobré a atraktívne podmienky pre firmy pôsobiace najmä v oblastiach moderných technológií, energetiky, ale aj bezpečnostných riešení. Estónsko je síce menšia krajina s približne 1,3 milióna obyvateľmi, avšak otvorenosť Estónska voči novým riešeniam a zahraničným partnerstvám vytvára naozaj priestor pre dynamickú obchodnú spoluprácu. Aj z tohto dôvodu sme sa tentokrát zamerali na túto krajinu a zorganizovali tento informačný a vzdelávací webinár. Z môjho pohľadu je zároveň potrebné zdôrazniť aj strategickú polohu Estónska. Pre mnohé spoločnosti predstavuje prirodzenú vstupnú bránu práve na pobaltské krajiny, ale nie len na pobaltské trhy, ale vo všeobecnosti do širšieho severského regiónu. Pre slovenské spoločnosti z nášho pohľadu môže byť Estónsko zaujímavé nie len ako samostatný trh, ale aj teda ako platforma alebo vstupná brána do celého tohto regiónu. Ja by som sa veľmi pekne chcel poďakovať za spoluprácu veľvyslanectvu Slovenskej republiky v Helsinkách, osobitne ekonomickému diplomatovi pánovi Martinovi Nástišinovi, ktorý je tu dnes pripojený s nami. Teda ďakujem mu za jeho účasť na dnešnom webinári a podporu aj pri jeho príprave. Na úvod dnešného webinára nám v krátkosti predstaví služby ekonomickej diplomácie, ktoré majú slovenské firmy k dispozícii pri vstupe na zahraničné trhy vo všeobecnosti, ale aj také, ktoré sú aplikovateľné práve na Estónsko, respektíve tento región. Za estónsku stranu dnes vystúpi pán Indrek Pelo, Business Development Strategist v spoločnosti Akadian. On nám teda predstaví estónsky trh a aktuálne príležitosti pre zahraničné firmy, takže veľmi pekne ďakujem aj za jeho účasť a participáciu tejto spoločnosti na dnešnom webinári. Ja vo všeobecnosti verím, že webinár poskytne veľmi praktický prehľad o estónskom trhu. Naším cieľom je predstaviť vám tie obchodné príležitosti, sektory, ktoré sú vhodné na spoluprácu, ale aj možno skúsenosti, ktoré slovenské spoločnosti na tomto trhu už majú. Na záver by som vás rád povzbudil, aby ste možnosti spolupráce aj s agentúrou SARIO využívali aj po tomto webinári. Pokojne sa nám ozvite, my s mojimi kolegami sme tu teda preto, aby sme vám poskytovali rady a asistenciu pri vstupoch na zahraničné trhy, ale ako náhle budete mať aj otázky ohľadom tohto webináru Estónska, respektíve širšieho regiónu, pokojne sa na nás obrátia a radi vám pomôžeme. Nejdem to už ďalej naťahovať. Ďakujem veľmi pekne za pozornosť a prajem vám podnetné a inšpiratívne podujatie. Ďakujem.
Ďakujeme aj my, Daniel, za úvodné slova a privítanie účastníkov. A ja teda tiež nechcem nič naťahovať a preto rovno požiadam pána ekonomického diplomata Martina Nástišina, aby nám uviedol kontext ekonomickej diplomácie a služieb, ktoré sú aplikovateľné na rozvoj biznisu v regióne a samozrejme v Estónsku. Ďakujem.
Ďakujem pekne. Verím, že sa všetci počujeme. Ospravedlňujem sa na úvod, ale som trochu zachytnutý a po chorobe, ale verím, že to neovplyvní moju zrozumiteľnosť. Ďakujem veľmi pekne Adamovi za pozvanie na tento webinár. Veľmi si to vážim. Som rád, že môžem trošku povedať o činnosti nášho zastupiteľského úradu a o tom, akým spôsobom vám vieme pomôcť v Estónsku. Na úvod musím povedať, že ja pôsobím na veľvyslanectve vo Fínsku. Slovensko, žiaľ Bohu, nemá veľvyslanectvo v Estónsku a vlastne všetká relácia, či už politická alebo ekonomická, kultúrna a iná, je vlastne pokrývaná z Helsík. Čo teda nie je veľmi ďaleko, ale tým pádom, že Estónsko je pre nás ako keby priateľitovaná krajina, tak tie možnosti spolupráce a aj intenzita kontaktov je vlastne trošku limitujúca. Slovensko ale má v Estónsku svoje zastúpenie v podobe honorárneho konzulátu Slovenskej republiky v Talline, ktorý je momentálne obsadený pánom Evenom Tudebergom. Pán Tudeberg je náš dlhoročný honorárny konzul, ktorý vlastne sa veľmi snaží pomôcť nielen firmám a občanom, ale celkovo ako Slovensku, ako takému v Estónsku. Ide o osobu, ktorá má veľmi dobré kontakty na politické a podnikateľské špičky a v Estónsku je všeobecne známy a je známy aj tým, že teda pomáha s podnikateľskými dopytmi. Takže pokiaľ máte nejaké konkrétne aktivity, ktoré by ste chceli prediskutovať v Estónsku a chceli by ste pomôcť od niekoho, kto je miestny, napríklad nie teda konkrétne od zastupiteľského úradu, ale od niekoho miestneho, tak je možné sa na neho obrátiť. Ale samozrejme je možné sa obrátiť aj na nás a my následne ho budeme kontaktovať. Pán Ondruš už trošku povedal niečo o estonskej ekonomike, ja sa nechcem veľmi opakovať, tak poviem len veľmi stručne nejaké štatistiky. V podstate stav estonskej ekonomiky doteraz boli, čo sa týka rastu HDP v poklese, teraz to začína trošku otáčať, na budúci rok sa očakáva rast okolo 2%. Problémom v Estónsku je stále vysoká inflácia, to je žiaľ niečo, čo máme podobné aj čo je podobné Estónsko a Slovensko, ale tiež sa už začína tlmiť a sú tam známky, že by to mohlo byť teda lepšie. Budúci rok sa očakáva inflačný rast okolo 2%. Očakáva sa taktiež nárast spotreby a tým spojené aj oživenie ekonomiky, ale nezamestnanosť je stále na nejakých 7%. Čo sa týka nejakej politickej situácie, to nejde veľmi rozoberať, lebo to nie je cieľom tohto semináru, ale vláda má veľmi nízku dôveru verejnosti, len okolo nejakých 15%, niekedy to dokonca ešte aj menej. Najbližšie voľby budú o rok, takto v marci 2027, čiže je vysoká pravdepodobnosť, že terajšia opozícia prevezme kormidlo v krajine. Aj napriek slabším tým ekonomickým výsledkom je Estónsko stále veľmi z digitalizácii. To je v podstate niečo, že keď sa povie Estónsko, tak každého napadne digitalizácia a je to pravda už niekoľko rokov. V podstate 100% služieb štátu sa dnes rieši online. A jedno, či sa bavíme o životných situáciách občanov alebo o administratívnych záležitostiach firiem. No a ako už tiež bolo povedané, Estónsko je veľmi otvorená ekonomika, čo je ďalší podobný aspekt so Slovenskom a prirodzene teda tí najbližší partneri sú tí, ktorí sú najbližšie teda severské krajiny alebo potom ďalšie pobaltské štáty. Chcel som povedať ešte jedno špecifikum, ktoré sa týka Estónska a mohlo byť možno zaujímavé pre niektorých z vás, aj keď z tabuľky, ktorú mi poslal Adam, ja vidím, že väčšina z vás nemá reálne skúsenosti s teritoriom alebo s podnikaním v teritoriu, ale to je niečo, čo by vás mohlo teoreticky zaujať. Estónsko má program, ktorý sa volá tzv. e-residency a je to v podstate ako keby, že digitálne podnikanie v Estónsku. Vlastne umožňuje to komukoľvek si do 2 alebo 4 hodín komplet na diaľku založiť estónsku firmu a vlastne celá táto administrácia je v angličtine, je to rýchle, je to digitálne a to je vlastne opatrenie, ktorým Estónsko láka talenty a talentované firmy zo zahraničia k ním domov. Vlastne Estónsko je výnimočné tým, že je tam najviac startupov per capita v celej Európe. Takže ak by pre niekoho bolo relevantné začať podnikať napríklad v Estónsku, aj keď viem, že tento seminár je skôr o spolupráci slovenských firiem s estónskymi, ale toto by tiež mohlo byť také niečo zaujímavé, tak odporúčam si k tomuto pozrieť ďalšie veci, prípadne nás kontaktujte a radi vám k tomuto pošleme ďalšie veci. Čiže vlastne je to odboraná akákoľvek byrokracia a v podstate v priebehu minút môžete začať legálne podnikať v Estónsku. Teraz by som prešiel na druhú časť a to sú možnosti podpory zo strany zastupiteľského úradu. V podstate ono to nie je niečím iné ako keby sme sa bavili o akýkoľvek inej krajine alebo akokoľvek inom zastupiteľskom úrade. V podstate na našej webovej stránke zastupiteľského úradu v Helsinkách nájdete v sekcii podpora podnikania razročne aktualizované ekonomické informácie o teritoriu. To je vlastne dokument, na ktorom my vždycky pracujeme niekoľko týždňov a snažíme sa tam zhrnúť všetky zaujímavé a relevantné informácie o krajine ako takej, o jej ekonomických výsledkoch, o štruktúre hospodárstva a o možnostiach teda spolupráce so slovenskými firmami. Takže pokiaľ vás nejakým spôsobom zaujíma Estónsko alebo by ste tam chceli realizovať svoje aktivity, tak odporúčam začať práve týmto, teda naštudovať si tie ekonomické informácie. Pokiaľ vám tam niečo chýba alebo niečo nie je jasné, alebo na druhej strane by ste chceli niečo doplniť, my samozrejme vždy radi oceníme akúkoľvek spätnú väzbu, či už pozitívnu alebo negatívnu. Na našej webovej stránke taktiež zverejňujeme aj prehľad výstav a veľtrhov, tých, o ktorých teda vieme. Máme to na webe zverejnené aj za Estónsko, aj za Fínsko. V podstate, pokiaľ by ste mali záujem sa nejakým spôsobom prezentovať svoje produkty vo Fínsku, tak účasť na tej výstave je najlepšia vec, pretože vždy sa tam zídu nejakí sektoroví odborníci a máte tam ľudí z praxe a je to najlepšia možnosť, ako si nájsť nejakých partnerov. Takže tiež by som dal do pozornosti, pozrite si našu webovú stránku, pozrite sa, či je tam pre vás niečo relevantné. A ak sa rozhodnete nejaké výstavy zúčastniť, tak my budeme samozrejme veľmi radi, ak nám o tom dáte vedieť. V kontexte výstav a veľtrhov by som chcel ešte informovať o možnosti, ktorá je viacerým z vás, predpokladám, aj známa, a to sú tzv. Projekty ekonomickej diplomácie. Je to vlastne veľmi dobrý a rýchly nástroj, ktorý my vieme pomôcť vám, slovenským firmám, s vašou prezentáciou v zahraničí. V podstate do veľkej miery to my robíme práve tak, že napríklad keď je nejaká výstava, tak my tam vieme zarezervovať plochu, vieme tam kúpiť stánok a to vieme potom ponúknuť vám, slovenským firmám. V ideálnom prípade je, ak je tých firiem viacej, ak sa vieme dať viacej dokopy a ísť na nejaký spoločný národný stánok. Ako som už povedal, vieme z toho platiť plochu, vieme z toho platiť nejaké vybavenie, nevieme z toho platiť letenky a nevieme z toho platiť dopravu, ale tak predpokladám, že v rámci Európy toto už až taký veľký problém nie je. Takže ak by vás niečo zaujalo z tej ponuky, ktorú máme na webe, alebo kľudne aj z nejakých iných výstav a chceli by ste podporu štátu vo vašej účasti, tak prosím, dajte nám vedieť. Je potrebné prípravu začať 3 až 4 mesiace dopredu a nechať na poslednú chvíľu, práve preto, že aj to schváľovanie, aj to výber tých projektov, ktoré sú podporené, vlastne nejakú dobu trvá a my to málo kedy vieme urýchliť. Ale vieme vlastne do toho investovať aj niekoľko tisíc eur, takže vie to byť pomoc pre vás. Nevieme vám pokryť všetky výdavky, ale nejakú veľkú plochu, alebo teda, väčšiu časť celkom určite áno. Potom sa nás zvyknú firmy ešte obrácať s prosbou na hľadanie obchodných partnerov, čo je tiež jedna zo služieb zastupiteľského úradu, ktoré robíme aj pravidelne. Ale tu by som chcel poprosiť o jednu vec. V dnešnej dobe už googliť vieme všetci. A my v zásade nemáme radi, keď dostaneme nejaké generické e-maily, ktoré vidíme, že proste išli na viaceré zastupiteľské úrady od firiem, kde dostaneme iba informáciu, že nájdete na obchodných partnerov. Samozrejme, urobíme to aj v takomto prípade, ale vždy je lepšie pre vás, pre firmu, a je to lepšie aj pre nás ako pre zastupiteľský úrad, ak už prídete s nejakou konkrétnou predstavou, koho by ste chceli nájsť. Ideálne je vlastne prísť s tou konkrétnou predstavou a my potom vieme konkrétne firmy osloviť zo strany zastupiteľského úradu, vieme tam, ako sa hovorí, že pripraviť pôdu a vy následne potom už viete mať nejaký komunikačný follow-up. A je to vždy lepšie, ako keď vám dáme iba nejaký zoznam firiem, že to sú firmy, skúste ich osloviť. Takže pokiaľ je pre vás Estónsko trhom, kde by ste chceli nejakým spôsobom fungovať, my sme tu pre vás. Využijte nás. Ale ako vravím, čím konkrétnejšiu predstavu budete mať o tom, ako by vám zastupiteľský úrad vedel pomôcť, tým to bude lepšie pre vás aj pre nás. Takže toľko by som povedal na úvod. Ak máte akékoľvek otázky, alebo vravím, ak budete čokoľvek od nás potrebovať, Adam môže kľudne zdieľať moje kontaktné údaje, alebo prípadne mi napíšte e-mail na martin.nastisin@mzv.sk a veľmi radi vám pomôžeme v vašich aktivitách v Estónsku. Veľmi pekne ďakujem za pozornosť.
Ďakujeme, Martin, za predstavenie služieb. Som veľmi rád, že teda ambasáda môže byť takýmto spôsobom a aktívne nápomocná. Ja dúfam teda, že aj zúčastnené spoločnosti, ale aj tie, ktoré tu dnes nie sú, že budú prejavovať záujem o tieto služby. My v podstate teraz prejdeme do tej anglickej verzie, kde vystupí vlastne pán Indrek Pello, ktorý vám bližšie predstaví, ako funguje a aký má potenciál trh Estónska. Vo výzve na tento webinár sme uvádzali teda najmä 3 sektory, išlo IKT, obranu a energetiku. Následne po prezentácii sa presunieme ešte do Q&A časti k zodpovedaniu otázok. Indrek, I hope you are still here with us and we will proceed with your presentation.
I'm working for a company called Acadian. This is a public relations and communications as well as a business development agency. It is one of the top agencies in Estonia, which has been around for more than 10 years. We have customers in public sector, NGOs, private companies, and we help them with their communication needs as well as the business development and consultancy needs. My background is really from trade and investment promotion, working for different government institutions, the Danish Trade Council, UK Trade and Investment, as well as Enterprise Estonia, which is the equivalent for SARIO in Slovakia. And over the years, I've also worked abroad, worked with companies entering the market in Estonia, as well as Estonian companies export consultancy to different other countries. So I have a bit of understanding what challenges you might have, and what are the ways to address those in Estonia. But we'll get to that later. So yeah, I mean, let's kick off with really understanding first what Estonia is about. I'm sure many of you have visited for either business or private reasons. If we look at Estonia, it's quite comparable to Slovakia, small country with the neighbors which we trade mostly with. The area of Estonia is 45,000 square kilometers. Slovakia is 49. We are slightly smaller population with 1.3 million as compared to 5+ million in Slovakia. And I think the capitals, Bratislava and Tallinn, can also be compared to how they look like and the feel, as well as the people are. I think one can say that they they get along, and the mentality is quite similar. If we talk about Estonia, then of course we are quite an integrated country into different international organizations, because we are a small country, and the openness is a key virtue for us. So we depend on that entirely. We are the biggest fan of European Union, because we need to trade with different markets, and if we can expand our 1.3 million market to close to 500 million, this is essential for our companies. And that also, having said that, the NATO alliance is a key to us, because we have a fantastic neighbor called Russia, who we see the only opportunity to live at their side of the border with the NATO, with contributing to NATO, and being a good alliance member in it. So these things like also Schengen area for people to travel without borders is something which we take very seriously. We're also using euro as a currency from 2011, so one can say that we're quite integrated to EU and different North Atlantic alliances, which provide us the necessary openness to markets, as well as the security needs. Okay, let's go on to more specifically. So what is Estonia known for is let's take the next slide there. Okay, we have, sorry. Estonia is really known for, I think, I didn't really understand what my colleagues were saying earlier, but I think there was a little bit about the Estonia's digital image. We are actually one of the most advanced digital societies with all the public services being available digitally. We, whenever a municipality or government comes up with a service, it needs to be available online. There are a couple of cornerstones there. There's of course you have to have the digital identification of the people, so who actually is acquiring these services, and how can you prove that this is the person. So digital signature and digital identification is one of the cornerstones there. And I think there's a few other things that are essential. There is of course the education, the digital infrastructure that is available with the government contributing heavily there. Okay, let's go on and talk a little bit more about the economics of Estonia. I mean, if you look at this pie chart about Estonian GDP, what probably strikes you is that it is quite evenly distributed. So we have no prevailing sectors which would dominate. I think if we draw parallels with the Slovak economy, you have the automotive industry and the machine building dominating. We are quite evenly distributed, which in a way is a good thing, because if there's a downturn in or a problem in one sector, it doesn't bring the whole economy down and keeps it still going. So what can be brought out from the GDP is, of course, we pride ourselves with the ICT and the digital side of things, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We have the manufacturing, which is very tied to electronics, as well as wood processing and wood industry. I think the roots are in this are in the fact that we have over 50% of the area of Estonia is covered with forest. So forestry and wood processing is something which is truly important for our industry, and it also translates into our exports of different wood products like furniture, biomass, the wooden houses, basically everything you can make from wood. Having said that, let's go to the next slide. The GDP growth rate, you can see that recently we have had a bit of a difficult time in the economy. Of course, you can see the 2021 growth rate being 8.3. This is the jump back from the COVID recession area from -3% in 2020 because of the problems we globally had. I think it's quite similar to many countries with the COVID years being truly negative growth years, and then bouncing back. The 2025 initial estimated growth rate is around, I think it was 0.6% growth. So we've gone through the low now, and it is predicted to go on to plus 1.3 in 2026, and thereon it will be a little higher growth rate. So we're getting back on track, and I think the sentiment in the economy is improving. Now a little more about the business environment and what one can expect if doing business in Estonia. There are a couple of key things which Estonian government has always kept in the center of its economic policy. One is the openness to openness and integration to different institutions and the areas, which is key for our exporting companies doing business in Estonia, and also the attraction of foreign direct investments. And I think in the foreign direct investments side, we can say that Estonia is quite they are quite dependent on the investments, and we've attracted a lot of different foreign companies to set up businesses in Estonia, and I think one of the things we do here, which is worth mentioning, is that the foreign direct the foreign investors and the local businesses are always treated as equal. We offer the same opportunities to the companies, and there's a level playing field for everyone. So we're not preferring the local companies over the foreign investors or vice versa. And the government is also trying to keep the bureaucracy down. There's no red tape, which you can expect in many larger countries outside EU and as well as in EU, and the corruption rate is also is quite low. And one of the things which is worth mentioning as well is that the government has tried to keep a prudent fiscal policy and financial sort of policy, especially. The government debt is the lowest in Europe, because we've seen a lot of sort of cases where, like Greece or Italy, overly spending, and I think the overall aim is not to give for the next generations a lot of debt to cover, and by that hinder the economic development and the choices we can make in the country. So this is, I think, the underlying objective of it all. Political and economic stability is the key, and I think we've achieved that. So what is that Estonia stands out in the business environment side of things? As I mentioned, the digital infrastructure is world renowned. All from business incorporation to, setting up the business, banking, everything is digitally available. You can do it. Basically, business setup can be done in business incorporation can be done in 15 minutes if you do it really quickly and have it all prepared. But it is, I think, one of the main things is that the government has set up the digital infrastructure, the ways to interact with the public, so that you don't have to stand in the queues in the service stations or different public institutions. The cornerstone is, of course, digital identity, signing digitally. I think in Estonia, one can say that when companies sign contracts between themselves and you see a paper contract, something is fishy, because usually everybody uses the convenient way of signing documents digitally. So this is these are the things which have kind of spoiled Estonians in a way that if you have to go somewhere and conduct business in other countries, you see that it is actually taking a lot of time. It is something unnecessary bureaucratic things which frustrate us, because as I said, it is really convenient. And this is not really the sales pitch. It is actually as a citizen, you can do everything. If you have to sell your car, you don't have to go to the service point. You just nominate the person you want to sell it to. You sign from your end digitally, the new buyer from their end, and the car registration is done in the vehicle register automatically. So just pay the state fee and all good. Yeah. So in the if we go to next slide, information society indicators, one can see that this is like we consider the digital thing as almost like a basic human right. So we save a lot of time with the you know, the digital way of doing things. The companies save time for dealing with and also the public institutions with the necessary things, not unnecessary bureaucratic procedures, and the speeds up things considerably. So as I mentioned as well, if you go to next slide, 99% of the companies are established online. Banking is wholly done online. There's no real reasons to go to the bank office as such if you don't have a specific sort of exceptional case. And as a citizen as well, people do their taxes online, as well as all other services one might need. You know, for example, let's take a simple example of you know, if you have medical prescriptions, you don't have to go to the doctor, pick up the you know, paper slip and go to the pharmacy and pick up the drugs. You just inform your family doctor that you've run out of the drugs you're using, and she will do the mark in the health registry or the prescription e-prescription, and you can go with your ID card to the pharmacy and pick it up. So it really, you know, if you're, let's say, in a summer cottage and you need to pick up something there, you don't have to drive to where you live, and you know, it actually eases up things considerably. And if we go to next slide, ease of doing business in general is something which you can expect when setting up in Estonia. And I heard e-residency being mentioned as well. The digital infrastructure that the Estonian government built for businesses and the society as a whole 10 years ago, they thought that this is actually a good platform for foreigners as well, because in many countries from the it is not the case. So so the fact that people can set up online companies, they can manage the companies digitally without having to really travel, then it sparked the idea that we can also go to the next slide. It sparked the idea that we can offer that to the foreign companies as well, foreign citizens. So so we started handing out digital identification to foreign citizens, and what it's mostly used for is to digitally identify yourself in the online environment, and by that we can say that, okay, this is Adam from Slovakia. That's if he's entering the PIN codes, and we can also say that we can authenticate that this is actually him who's using the service, and by that we can also he can consume the digital services, set up the company in Estonia without actually traveling here, and set up the banking and everything else. Manage it, submit tax declarations for the company, sign agreements, sign whatever is needed with the government. Of course, we're not saying that don't come here. Of course, it is a beautiful country, so please do. But it gives you the comfort of doing things from your home without or wherever you travel. Are you in Bali, or are you in Mexico, or wherever you are, you can still do things Right, so let's go on. The other thing Estonia is known for is its startups and the startup ecosystem that we have managed to create. The story really started in, I think, around 20 years ago, when Skype was established in Estonia and later on sold to eBay and Microsoft. And there were one Danish guy, one Swedish guy, and a couple of Estonian guys who were the founders. So they exited the startup and they made a pile of money. So what happens is when you get a couple of geeks, technology guys having a pile of money, so they started reinvesting in the Estonian and also globally to other startups. But the Skype effect was really very important for us because it gave the inspiration to other tech entrepreneurs to build businesses, to also the know-how, how it's done, and there's a very good spill out from those initial success stories, and now there are around 1,500 startups already that are active. There are 10 unicorns that have come out of Estonia. I think you might also know Bolt, the ride-sharing company, which is going global. There's also Wise, which was formerly called TransferWise, doing money transfers for a very affordable price. And they already employ in Estonia alone, both I think employ 1,000 people respectively, and globally tens of thousands of people. Estonia has also trying to draw startups to the country we have a startup visa from third countries. You can come here and start building your business, and there's also a scale-up visa for existing businesses, which give the people from third countries who are not within the EU to come and get a visa and living permit here to especially build the businesses and be the part of the community here. If you're interested in that domain, then of course there's two keynote sort of key events for the startup community. One is Latitude 59, which has been running for close to 15 years. That's when the startup ecosystem comes together, all the founders who are building startups, investors. So that's the place to come, happening in May. Latitude59.ee, have a look. And the other one is in the beginning of the year in Tartu, the second largest city. It's called Startup Day. So this success in the building good startups has brought a lot of venture capital companies into Estonia, and since we are the leaders there, this has brought about a lot of investment into the startup sector. Now going on, if you look at Estonia, then why is it successful is of course because of the digital infrastructure. We are open to new things. We offer like a test bed for as a government. We're open. The government is open to taking new initiatives in, trying them out. There are also, for example, now of course AI is a big thing. And the Estonian government has initiated AI in the schools for students, not just to use it as they wish, but in a program where they try to integrate AI into the school curriculum in a way that the students would learn the new technologies already in school. Yeah. On the defense side, we have to say that the Estonia is very much aware of what is going on with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. We are the firmest supporters of Ukraine. We are trying to be as a good ally for NATO, and also trying to sort of I'm trying to look for the right word, trying to inform the Western allies what is the mindset of Russian leaders, the regime there, and not be fooled by the propaganda which is coming our way. We are also trying to push the sanctions as much as possible through in the European Union as well as everywhere else. I know the Slovak government has a bit of a different view, but we are feeling the heat, and we are supporting Ukraine in different ways, from political support to military support to trainings to also the defense startups, and it is our sort of mission to as a small nation to help out the war which Ukraine is fighting for us. And in the sort of defense tech space, we see that I think for years and years we did not have a defense industry as such, one can say. But now there is a big growth in that. There are companies cropping up because there's an opportunity, if one can say this way. There's a need, and now there are also financial resources that are becoming available. For example, Estonian government venture capital company called SmartCap has a defense fund where they invest 100 million into the defense technology companies. NATO has set up their acceleration program called Diana in Estonia. There are across NATO 32 members. There are 3 NATO Diana accelerators, one in UK, one in Estonia, and one in Canada. And this is the kind of that's kind of gives merit to Estonia. Estonia's success in developing other technology startups, and now we're trying to replicate that for the defense side as well. I think it is sort of a situation where we try to put as much. I mean, the conflict in Ukraine gives I mean, there's a huge need to, because as you probably know, that especially in the air field or the air domain, the drone war is going on, the war of drones, as they say, and the technology there is fast changing. It's not even months but weeks can change the picture on the battlefield. But the good things for companies is that you get an immediate your technology get immediately battle tested. You get the feedback, and the loop is very quick. The development, battle tested, and adjustments loop. I mean, so this has brought about the quick development in this area. There are dual use companies. There are only military use companies. There are of course the autonomous vehicles and UGVs and also in the drone field. There's a big demand and big development going on. Okay, what about the business culture? What can you actually expect here when you come to do business with Estonian people? You can find that they are quite pragmatic. They are you can say that they usually kind of introvert introvert type of people where not much talk. You can go straight to the business, no bullshit. Go and get your things done. Less words, more action. And but again, if doesn't mean that when people are on a quiet side that they wouldn't be interested. Don't interpret that wrong. They rather try to rationalize things for themselves, and also it is kind of polite to listen to the other party here. We have a saying that speaking is silver, but listening is gold. So that's the mentality side of things. But again, like we're always trying to find ways to do things in a more efficient way. So efficiency is kind of at the heart of the Estonian things. And I think from I think it's an easy sort of, if you establish a good contact, it is for a long term usually, and I think you will like the way of doing business in Estonia. Now the Slovakian-Estonian business relations are not, of course, very tight. There we trade with our neighbors. You can go to next slide as well. We trade with our partners. Finland is our key partner for both investment and export, as well as import. Latvia, Lithuania, the Nordic countries, and Germany are in the top. But of course for Slovaks it is the same with your neighbors, and we it is sort of an it's a logical thing to happen when you grow your business. You start with easy steps with the neighbors. Of course, it's also related to the foreign direct investments that are coming to the country. You have a lot of investments from the automotive and the machine building, and that kind of translates into their partner network and going globally from the automotive from Slovakia is, of course, it is what it's known for. Estonian export counts only 0.2% of Slovakia's exports, but we see good growth there. So I think Slovakian companies are finding Estonia. They're growing their business here, and this is a good sign. So I think it is showing some signs of getting more active, and I think this is something which your company could also explore. As we see, the key category is the vehicles and automotive components, and this is of course understandable. And of course electrical equipment and machinery. Also some metal products are further down. Food products as always. Estonia exports only we export 4 times less, so 43 million in 2024, and our I think it is it's very diverse, as well as we discussed earlier. Okay, regarding the business opportunities, let's go to the next slide as well. I mean, there are large projects happening in the Baltics, which I think are worth mentioning. For example, Rail Baltica, which connects Tallinn to Warsaw. There will be a whole new railway track being built with the thing is that we have a Russian gauge railway, and we're building a narrow gauge railway which connects us to Europe, going through Latvia, Lithuania, and ending up in Warsaw. So there's a huge amounts being invested. I think it's mentioned well, it is mentioned here that it's a 5 billion euro investment, but as we know, all those investments are usually, you know, I think when we come to the finish line, then it will be 2 or 3 times more. So there's good opportunities in these. There are of course in the energy sector there are wind parks being built. There's offshore projects being launched in the Baltic Sea, as well as the battery, like the energy storage has become one of the important factors, because our energy mix is coming from the it's an oil shale based energy production in Estonia historically, but oil shale is like, let's say, a brown stone close to coal, so it's polluting. It's a fossil fuel which we are trying to get away from, and we see that now the renewable energy has taken the majority. It comprises from biomass, from wind, as well as solar energy, and there's a lot of projects going on there, and storage has also become quite important in the energy mix. Anyway, so let's go on to what to expect when you're doing business with Estonia. What to keep in mind. So usually when such a small country is usually overlooked, but don't do that, because the business could be good here, especially if you're a new exporter. It's an easy market. It can give you the experience with exporting, get your procedures right, get your so you can solve your problems easier rather than going to Germany and burning your fingers. It's much less expensive lesson to be learned. You can have a pan-Baltic representation. Either you have an agent or you have a representation distribution arrangement. You can have quite often pan-Baltic representation. You have one partner who will cover for that. There are companies who are doing business across the Baltics, and some even in the Nordics. You can within the country, if you select a partner here, usually this usually one partner is enough. It's a small country. It's quite Tallinn. I mean, the economy is quite Tallinn centric. I think 60% of the GDP is generated in Tallinn. Tallinn areas. I mean, depends how you look. 500,000 people. So it's it is 1/3 of the, or even more, of 40% of the country's population. It is easy to check the partner's background, so everything is digitally available. I can give you the ways to do that. You can check if they are in, if they have tax debts, if they're into some legal disputes, or so on. What are their economic, how much they turn over, are they profitable? All this is readily available in the digital databases of the government, and accessible online, of course. It is a small society. I guess you know what I'm talking about. Also, I guess much the same in Slovakia, where everybody tends to know everyone. So especially if you're in some specific sector, everybody knows the key players. And if you're not doing things right or the proper way, people also know. So cutting corners is not really easy here, and finding a new partner. So try to get it right in the first instance. The good thing is that also the payment culture is quite, I think, one of the best in Europe. We tend to be punctual in payment for our consignments or whatever the is needed there. And e-commerce is also used if you're in B2C business. E-commerce is widely used. There are thousands of parcel lockers around the country. You can ship the products easily. So if e-commerce can be integrated into a business or is part of a business, it is something which is widely used here. So I think I hope I gave you some idea of what Estonia is about. Just to maybe give the keywords again: open economy, digital society, easy to do business. Most Estonians tend to speak English, so it's easy to deal with them. And even though the official language is Estonian, the only place where you should think about these, it is where, for example, in the packaging, there should be Estonian text on it or instructions. Product information should be in Estonian. It's so obligatory. But conducting business, no problems in English. Since we're a small country, we can't expect people to speak in Estonian to us. But my offer to you really is that if you found Estonia as a market to be interesting for you, book a 15-20 minute call with me. Let's go through a specific case, see what industry you're in, and see how we can. Is there an opportunity here? Is there not? And how to go about it. I'll help you get the additional information, and if needed, also we can go on and identify your potential partners, validate if they are suitable for you, and agree meetings with the potential partners. So that's my offer to you. Reach out to me. The contacts are here, and I think the presentation will be also shared with you, so you can see them from the presentation and drop me an email. I'd be happy to be in direct contact with you. It is really hard to say in a sort of a overarching level what the opportunities are for, let's say, in ICT, because you have ICT in everything nowadays, so it's really kind of hard to generalize, and it might be not very important for your company.
I will share on the screen the few questions we have received in the registration, so hopefully you all see them now.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about the energy mix, so I'll skip that one. There are, of course, the green energy is a huge topic. There are discussions on the offshore wind parks. There are subsidies for the projects, investment incentives, and so on. So we can. There's a whole big topic there which can be talked about hours. Going on to the third question, it is possible to find partners in Estonia who have a network in the Nordics. For example, there's a question about pharmaceutical market in Finland. There is one large Estonian company which has a resale and distribution company of their own in Estonia, and quite often it is also possible to get good access to Finland and the Nordics through the Estonian companies. There was a question. Next question is about the commercial representation in the region. It's probably meant the Baltic region here. Yes, it is possible. Quite often there are companies operating pan-Baltic, having offices in all three countries. So this is quite a reasonable thing to consider. But of course, you have to just mind there if this particular company has, it's often that they are strong in one country, but maybe not very strong in other two countries. So you just have to see, does it make sense for you to give the representation rights to the pan-Baltic company when you could actually create more sales through 3 different representatives. So this analysis is to be made sort of case by case. Yeah, there's a specific question about online booking system and to be launched out. I think this is the question is yes, of course, it is required. There's a specific business case to be looked into. There's an I think the answer really is that you probably are exporting in other markets. The same logic can be applied to Estonia. Whatever business model you have, just you have to run it out here like in any other market. There are probably competitors. You have to see which solutions are used and how do you market and sell your system in Estonia. And the last one is about the distribution of alcohol subject to excise duties. This is again, let's say if you're a manufacturer of beer and other alcoholic beverages, then if you go through a distribution partner, a local company, then they will take care of all the taxation. They are reliable to pay the excise duties and the whatever bonded warehouses and stuff that is needed for this particular area. If you're selling yourself to the market, then you're required to have a local entity. It can be your subsidiary company, and in that case, the subsidiary company is reliable for the taxes to be paid and all the declarations to be made. So it's as usual, rather either you go directly into the market through your own daughter company, or you go through the partner. In the first instance, if you go yourself, of course, you're reliable for the following all the rules of the alcohol regulation, and in the other case, you delegate this to your partner. Sorry. Okay, I hope this was in a nutshell that answered your questions. But again, I think it's important to, if you're seriously considering, let's look together into the opportunity or the questions you might have, which are deciding whether you want to go in or not. So book a call with me and let's discuss that individually. I always prefer that to overall, preaching about how things are in general. It doesn't usually give much detail for your specific needs.
Thank you, Indrek. Thank you for being here with us and agreeing with the partnership for the webinar. And I wish you a very nice rest of the day. I will turn back to the Slovak just to close the webinar. Thank you. Ja ešte predtým naspäť do slovenčiny, rád by som poďakoval všetkým, že ste sa zúčastnili, že ste si našli čas a vypočuli tento webinár. Záznam z neho spracujeme, uverejníme aj nahrávku, budete sa môcť kedykoľvek k nemu vrátiť. Rovnako vám zazdielame aj prezentáciu a tiež odporúčam sledovať naše ostatné podujatia. Ak vás niektoré zaujíma, budeme radi, ak sa na ne prihlásite. Ešte raz ďakujeme aj Martinovi Nastišinovi, ekonomickému diplomatovi. Bolo super, že ste si našli čas zúčastniť sa a týmto považujeme webinár za ukončený.